Well, this is classic early season ice. Nothing wrong with it, but there just isn't a heck of a lot of it. It certainly does increase in quantity as time goes on, but quality-wise, this looks pretty good to me. You know, there's not too much of it. So when you look at this, what do you see here? What do you, looking at the ice, what do you see?
Just looking at it, I see different thicknesses of it.
Yep.
I don't know how to characterize it. It's white or blue or black, but I can definitely see the rock part underneath of it.
Obviously, this is a lot thinner than, for example, that is.
Yes.
And it looks like we got some thick ice there that seems to come to an abrupt stop.
Yeah. What does that mean?
A lot. That means that the water that's forming that is not at the top of the cliff, but it's flowing under, either through that crack or coming out from inside, and then it's exposed to the surface, you know, partly down the cliff. So if you stepped over here, yeah, see, I think that's coming deep inside the cliff and emerging from the cliff at that point where that bulge is formed at the top. This is all pretty common stuff. Now it's interesting because last year, early in the season, this was loaded with ice. And there's not much there now.
That was in December, you said?
Yeah, that was in December, like I think it was the middle of December. So you never know what's going to happen, where it's going to come from. But this ice is one of the reasons I like to be here is because this ice, there's a lot of kinds of ice here. We have ice that is pretty thick, like right in here. We have ice that's pretty thin. We have ice that is poorly adhered to the substrate and heavily featured down there. We have ice that's kind of pretty smooth over here. It's a lot of different stuff going on.
Oh yeah,
here.
you're right about the smooth
part.
part.
It exposes you to different things. One thing you got to know though is this ice at the bottom here.
Slippery.
Well, it's not only slippery, but there's a reason why that's sitting there. That's a little stream bed. No, it's not deep. It's maybe this deep, but it's still, you don't want to fall in, obviously. So that's just something to keep in mind. I think it's probably pretty well frozen.
Oh, all right.
Find out. Oh yeah, it's all under the rock.
Yeah, where you're standing.
Yeah, you can stand, don't stand over there. So that will matter. So over here you're looking at ice. You saw some stuff like that in the slideshow where the water has kind of kept it away from bonding to the rock. This is well bonded. That's not so well bonded. And you can see the features here. They form because of the splashing, or at least in part because of the splashing. Those bumps are there because of the way that the water is moving and dancing around, whereas this just kind of seeped. Big difference.
And that's why it'll be smoother.
Yeah. So as you look at this cliff, does this seem like a reasonable place to be standing right now? Is there a reason why we should be worried about spontaneous objects falling on us?
From what I can say, no, but I still always wear something.
Yeah.
It's angled away from me.
Yep.
And I don't see anything like right over my head or any of those act like they're trying to come down.
Yeah, and there's nobody up there to knock stuff down.
Oh yeah.
We're pretty sure anyway. If they are, they're sneaky little fuckers. So as you go over here, it's a little more of a concern. But not much. I mean, you can see like...
Oh, where it's overhanging a little bit, yeah.
A little bit. You know, that's really not... If that falls, it's not going to land on us. We're pretty good here. This is a very benign place, which is one of the reasons I come here. It's our first experience. It's pretty reasonable to be here. So I'm not concerned about being here. I think, you know, we will put a harness and a helmet on just because, well, you got your harness on already, but having a helmet on is never a bad idea. Anytime you're swimming tools, it's a good idea. But we're going to be fine here. And we have easy access to the top of the cliff to set a rope and, you know, get climbing on it in a little while. But whenever you go to a climbing area, you need to ask yourself whether you should be standing, getting your gear on, wherever it is that you've chosen to do so. You don't want to just sort of think, oh, well, that's where people do it, and then find out that something comes flying down and whacks you in the head. There's a lot more stuff that falls out of the sky ice climbing than there is rock climbing. I would say on the order of 100 times more common. So what would be an extremely unusual event, rock climbing, just, you know, it's normal for ice climbing. You will see falling ice today. And you will see it every day. Hopefully you just won't be in a place where it's falling near you. Okay? So let's go over here and we'll get our harnesses, we got our helmet and our crampons on. Before we do anything else, we'll talk about crampons.